How does this look, by the way?
Your
I look big.
Your head's kind of cut off.
I look big and you look little.
That's good. That's how it should be.
So leave it?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
You should look big. I should look little.
So you were talking about your knee.
Yes.
And I asked about your feet and what you're doing. And then you said, what should I be doing? So plantar fascia is pretty much the same thing as carpal tunnel is to the hands.
Okay.
Okay. And the way you deal with both is start to challenge them.
Okay.
And so part of that means getting them out of the tennis shoe and out of the sock and touching ground and having sensation and reason to have sensatory experience. Having sensatory experiences, so now they have reason to be alive.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you put like a white inspection glove on your hand and you just leave it there for years, you put them on when you're 10 and you never take them off, you would lose dexterity, sensation, these type of things.
Okay.
But that's what we do to the foot. And then there's the ankle, and we'll do a session one time where we go over the ankles.
Okay.
But you haven't even got there yet.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
There's so much. You can't be with somebody even 5 and 6 sessions and they still don't see the big whole thing. But when you put it together, then it's yours.
Right.
And you do what you want with it. So
yeah,
that's the word. So I want you to introduce yourself, and I should probably do the same, but you go first. Like, what happened the other day? Like, how did?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had my friend who's 21 years old come visit, and she wanted to do an ice bath or an ice plunge. And I hate being cold, so I did not want to do it, but I'm always happy to go along. So we came here, and she was all excited about it. I was not excited at all. And we met you in the lobby, and everybody knew I was not looking forward to it. And you said to breathe through it. And so we went in and we did our ice plunge, and I was able to do better than her, because I could sit there and breathe through it for a minute or two, or I think I even got up to 5 minutes. And I was kind of just like, oh, wow. And so we came out after, and we were talking to Jamie in the lobby, and I don't know how it started, but I was telling him, like, I had ACL.
No, I saw you walk.
Is that how?
Yeah. Anytime I see anybody with a peculiar gait or something, I'm always starting a conversation with them. And trying to query what's going on. And anyway,
right.
So go.
Yeah. And so I had ACL surgery in college. I tore it playing field hockey. And, it's just, I never had good range of motion after, but I've been losing range of motion over the year and have really bad arthritis. And I'm scheduled for a knee replacement surgery. But I know that I've lost range of motion, mobility, and mostly between not being a flexible person to begin with, but then I think from fear of pain, I've held my whole body in a certain way that I'm having all sorts of problems with my foot now.
Guarding
and guarding.
Compensating. That was a major handicap that you were walking around with, by the way.
Yeah.
But keep going.
And so that...
Because you're telling me things that I don't know.
Oh. And then so Jamie's like right in the middle of the lobby. He's like, lay down on your back. I'm like, what? And so now I know, like, what's that called? I know this is called
the figure 4.
Yeah, figure 4. But anyway,
the knee on knee.
Yeah, he had me just like do the knee on knee, which I could barely even do, and I could not do the figure 4 move. And he like grabbed me, and I was terrified because my knee does kind of like pop out and pop back in a lot. And like I was in so much pain, but again, he had me breathe through it, and I realized that I could do things that I never thought I could do. And so that's where we are.
And then I started saying that men with low T and blah, 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 blah. And then
Oh God, here we go.
you
Yeah.
went into a subject that I'm very curious. First of all, again, like introduce yourself and explain this curiosity of low T in men and in your experience.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm 58 years old and I'm single, and I have dated a lot through the years. And I have found that men around my age are probably, and I'm no expert on the subject, but have low testosterone. And then I'm also uh, a child development specialist and a lifespan development um, specialist. And I used to teach lifespan development and love and marriage and family. And my big concern is how men at this point are portrayed in our society. If you every time you read a book or see a movie or watch the news, men are being abusive, women are being killed every day in this country.
Mm.
Um, and then I don't even know if I talked to you about this now. And I brought stuff to show you. The newest phenomena is that there's women like me that have become ultra strong because we had to, right? We raised our
Women are
kids
absolutely thriving, and men are suffering
in
so bad,
a
so
lot of
bad.
ways, not in every way, but in a lot of ways,
I
right?
just see a larger portion of the population represented by women who are taking control of many things, especially their lives.
Yeah,
It's
right,
amazing to see what they're doing, and then you just see what men are doing, and they're just crumbling.
right.
And,
And
and
if you
but
look at gender roles throughout, the history, right, the men worked um, and took care of the yard, and the women took cooked and took care of the house and took care of the kids, and it was a very even gender kind of split, and the men need the women need the men, and then women really changed the rules of what we wanted, and now women are working and taking care of the kids and taking care of the house and taking care of the lawn and doing everything and becoming ultra strong. And I think some men have really stepped up in a partnership with their spouse and are doing great, and I know men like that, and I would love to
what does it mean
highlight
when you
more
say
like
step
that.
up? What does that mean?
Well, they're now going to work, but also cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids. And it's not easy, but they've found a good partnership where they share the duties of life,
Mm.
but yet they're still the man of the house. But it's not that traditional role that
I think
they
that
grew up with.
the, what sparked the conversation was it's this idea that nothing we do is manly anymore. Like just cutting the grass, we outsource it uh, to others.
Right.
We we're not jumping off the back of horses and wrestling cattle to the ground. We're not clearing 10 acres of land to farm and build a home for our family. We're not doing what men have done, and they're completely lost. It's almost like what do you call the coming of age, coming of rights, coming of
Like puberty or
no.
like,
I'm speaking about these rituals that some cultures have.
right, right.
What's the word for this?
I think that is like coming of age or your
These
passage
ritual
into, right,
passage, right? Exactly.
to womanhood or manhood.
Exactly. We don't even have this definition in our brain. At least we tried to say, if you jump off of that tower, kill one water buffalo, and make your own tunic, you'll be a man.
Right, right.
So yeah, and now we don't even have that much direction.
Yeah, and now and then you brought in kind of the connection of maybe the lack of physical challenges leading to low testosterone. But now there's all these funny memes out there, which I was going to bring you. Like women are posting, if I get married again, I want to be the wife this time. I've already been the husband,
Mm.
and I want to find a man that's stronger than the man that I am. And
Mm.
there's another one where there's all these short video clips of the woman like at the beach carrying the chairs and the cooler and the kids, and the man's just walking by himself. And
Mm.
there it's all.
Men do this?
Oh yeah, I'll show them to you. It's
You're kidding me.
oh yeah. You want to see it on camera?
No, I'm
But
just
they're
saying that's
all
real. This is
yeah.
a stereotype that nobody has made up
Yeah,
concerning men.
right. And this is
Really,
what's circulating in our social media
this is funny.
of men are now being portrayed as weak, as abusive,
Yeah, they're angry.
you know,
They're angry.
they're
I've
angry.
seen it like road rage. I see it. I drive around and I observe it, and I see it in people I know.
And I
It's
want to make it clear
crazy.
there are really wonderful men out there, and it's not everybody, but I'm seeing that it seems like few have stepped up in this new kind of society we're in, and many
And I
are
think I
floundering.
think it's really interesting because those are my favorite women that are smart and capable and have they don't have to be independently wealthy or anything, but when I see somebody who's thriving, I think this is a strong person. This is admirable. This is so for guys to find it somehow intimidating. And the thing that you heard it for a while, but I don't really pay attention to it anymore. But feminism was a really bad bashing thing on the guy side for some period of time. I don't hear much about it anymore.
It still is,
But
though. Guys will say, I don't even know what to do anymore. Do I open a door? I opened a door for a woman, and she got mad at me and said, I can open my own door. And I do believe those things are happening out there, but I
mm,
open the door for anybody,
I think that
you
I
know.
think that the problem is, and somehow this is turning into dating. the The problem is, first of all, men should take the lead. That's it. Be a fucking man. If you're going to be a man, be a man in every aspect. You have to know how to protect your family. You have to know how to maintain composure. You have to know how to lead a woman. Not saying that there's any type of um, it's just role playing.
Right.
It takes no value away from the woman. And if a man thinks that way, for I could say things that would make people upset, but the you you just realize that there's roles. It's like saying, you clean the litter box on this day, and you clean the litter box on this. It's there's a role that you play, and if you play within this role and maintain this respect, I guess it's a division of labor, is what I'm trying to say. There's an understanding. Does that make sense?
It does, but there also, though, has to be attraction.
Yes, of course. But I think that we can, at the same time, there's too much auditioning as opposed to authenticity. I think the the relationship you have with your wife, from a man's perspective, it changes
Sure.
at points in time,
Right.
and there's I believe that authenticity, say what you mean, stepping up. The Go ahead. I'm sorry. I think I'm rambling on now.
No, no.
So I'm just good because these are things I troubleshoot for myself,
Right.
and so and think about.
Right.
So
Well, me too. And I told I have a really good friend that we did date, and now we've just decided to have a friendship. But he's really helped me see that I have to be. I can, I think what he said was that he does admire my strength and understands why I was forced to get to this point where I can handle everything myself.
mm.
But he said you had, one of the things that he struggled with was me letting him be the man and letting him take the lead. And, I was kind of always telling him what to do. And that's not,
Really,
doesn't make for a good
and
relationship.
you weren't aware of it.
No, no idea. And now I'm aware of it and I do it all the time with everybody. My kids will say, Mom, stop telling me what to do because they're
But you're aware
adults
that you're
and they're,
doing it. Do you ever say to yourself, "I'm going to change this behavior"? I have
oh,
awareness. I know when I'm practicing
yeah.
it. I can back off.
all the time.
Really?
But it's hard,
Yeah.
right? I was a teacher. I told everybody what to do. I was a single mom. I told my kids, I'm used to demanding, control and people just following and doing what I say.
But
And
now through all the rambling, you actually started with what I think I was trying to say and sum that up with, is being friends gets rid of all of that.
right,
Gets rid of the character and playing roles and stuff, because now there's just open communication,
right,
and it's actually the number one criteria that I think of when I'm thinking of a person I might be interested in.
right,
Is could we be friends? It's the first question.
right, right.
So
Because it's the most important part, really, of the relationship.
I swear it is.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. So, and if you got that, I think that's what. And then let's go back to the testosterone thing now, and the other parts of. I made a list just in December, on the 10th. The FDA commissioner, Dr. Mark McCary, they held a panel on testosterone replacement therapy. Now, what was interesting to me is that the panel was not on the idea that low tests in the population is a problem. That's not what they met on. They met on the value of TRT. It was literally a marketing.
Okay.
With executives and everything.
Right.
And so I found that crazy that they're already implementing a solution and it's money oriented as opposed to discussing the problem.
Right.
That was very interesting. So anyway, some of the things that they cited was 50% men with low T. People understand it's a natural substance, it's a hormones in both men and women. And we get a lot of value in it in our lives, and it's really what makes men are men. 52% of low T people are more likely to have diabetes, 50% more likely to break a bone, osteoporosis, and these types of things. 62% more likely to be obese, 86% more likely to be depressed, 6 times more likely to contribute to male infertility. They lack muscle mass, again, health, cardiovascular, energy, mood, lifestyle. When they say that, I think they're talking about libido. But as I'm hearing each one of these people speak, as I'm watching this thing, every single time they mention one of those, I say to myself, exercise cures that. Exercise cures that. Exercise cures that. Exercise cures that. Being a man and moving your body, and even if it's in artificial ways, maybe we don't have to be on a horse jumping off, but we can do things, and we can change. When you change your body, you can change your entire chemistry. And that anger problem is managed, that we're just talking about. All of these things are managed through exertion, the force of the body. And the body does not understand if it's 1950s or the Middle Ages or Roman times or not. If you're exerting yourself, getting out, eating good food, getting sunshine, all of these things cures all of the depression, the diabetes, the overweight, the aches and pains, the muscle mass problem.
When you say exercise, though, is there anything specific in that? Like,
no.
Could it be running on a treadmill
get
or
out, get
playing
off
tennis
the couch
or
and quit making trips to the TV. Get up and discover yourself in your life and what you're capable of, and you push yourself, and we don't have, there's no more land, there's no more continents to be conquered. There's no more, we can't explore and be ourselves in that way. We have to find other ways,
right,
to conquest ourselves is really what I see lacking, and it cures all of those things that they're citing and that we're citing. Is the way I feel about it. And so now you have a rise in fight sports nowadays. Go hang out with those people. There's calm, cool, collective.
Really? Yeah.
Go to yoga, hang out with the women.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right.
Go to Pilates. Hang out with the people.
Yeah.
Go to the gym and walk around and talk.
Right.
People can get their shit together. There's the homeostasis between the dopamine and the serotonin comes into balance, and the other hormones are also affected in all of this. So I think it's the big thing. Is otherwise that move to Argentina and buy a ranch and be a
Be a cowboy.
be a cowboy. So, but yeah, that's what I see. But you also talked about the programming. You talked about your experiences with children.
Well, right. I mean, we kind of have now, generally a second generation of boys that aren't growing up with fathers, right? Single parenthood started kind of 2 generations ago. And so I think that is, the male role model is lacking all around inside the house and outside the house.
Yeah. This is true.
And I don't see it changing.
Yeah, I don't see how it can change either. Passage of rights. It just popped in my head again. Yeah, I don't see that changing unless we go back to this type of. I've thought about creating it artificially. You can create a blue zone. I thought about creating a retreat that was men oriented and kind of um, go this direction. And there's a lot of things to think through. Maybe it's a 5 or 6 year evolution of thought and planning, but I think it's needed. And I've showed it to a few people because there's other people doing this model, and they were fascinated with it.
Right.
Men especially were fascinated with it. You go to an isolated place. There's no women. There's no internet. There's no computers. There's no alcohol. All you do is train and run and eat fruits and vegetables and take ice baths and collaborate. And of course, there's course material that you're taking, and it's kind of it's the closest thing I can think of in modern times. And unfortunately, it would have to be capitalistic in nature. And so,
Well, you got it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Do
yeah,
it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's the. So that's because I've come to the same conclusion. I see no other paths to fixing this.
Yeah, I think, men need to speak up and help each other.
And that's another thing.
Because I think women do that.
I'm going to tell you. Sometimes we have 3 phone lines on my phone line. And sometimes I get the kids' text and they start coming through. I don't know why it happens and then it goes away. So it happens one time. And I'm on the group text of my son's girlfriend. And she's a waitress. And all it was, you're a badass. And no, I love you too. And like, it was so much positivity and building up and great feedback and love and appreciation and doing things for others. It was amazing to read those texts. That one time I got that chat of her waitress friends at her restaurant. So yeah, but and so I've observed that in where we're like calling each other bitch. Yo, what up, bitch? And we don't. I think there is a part of the culture that does show love and collaboration, and because I'm in that group, but all of these people, again, I know them from jiu-jitsu. They're the best people I know. They're the people I get along with. Jiu-jitsu and yoga people, probably the best. We're most aligned.
Yeah.
And
I think other cultures show love way more often or readily. I was recently with my brother's neighbors who are French, but there was a lot of like talking to somebody and touching their face and rubbing their hair and holding them close. And, I think in Europe they use the word caress a lot in a very loving way, where caress in the United States is more in a sexual way. But I think other cultures touch each other more and talk to each other and have more words of endearment and love. And it's built into their culture and it's passed down generation to generation.
They have maintained, for example, Europe, they maintain a culture of you work from this hour to this hour and you value your time off and walking to the plaza in the evening and taking a cappuccino with your friend and talking nonsense and smoking a cigarette and walking back home. And
Yeah.
it's different, the rhythm
Yeah.
and the expectation. To them, that's a right to have a quality of life. And we, like, without church on Sundays, for some people, there's no rhythm. In rhythm, without rhythm, you have chaos. And so this is another factor, is you have to find a rhythm that you live by. And this is everybody. This doesn't have to do with, but because women are organized and employed, there's a natural rhythm.
Right.
And so, right. And so, yeah. And so about the programming, I want you to speak more of how you saw the relationship between parents and kids.
Oh, now? I have a lot to say on that. I mean, I don't know if that's on the topic of what we're talking about, but I I feel that parenting today is actually crippling kids because parents are so adamant that they don't want their child to feel a negative emotion. And I can give you lots of examples in the classroom. And they advocate for them and fight for them, that kids are not learning how to fail and then work hard and regulate their own emotions. And I think that anxiety, we all have anxiety, right? We all have things that make us nervous, and you learn to work through them. And now anxiety in kids is just crazy. Hello. And
Go, it's ready for you. Yeah.
and kids just don't know how to cope. And I think they then all of a sudden get into the workplace when they're adults and don't know how to take criticism, they don't know how to work hard. They want everything to be perfect, and that's not life.
What I say to people when I see this happening is I say to them, if you're losing your shit over a flat tire or broken phone cover or something, or McDonald's is out of barbecue sauce, what are you going to do when something really bad happens?
Right.
And so I see that. I see a failure to act under pressure. It's just minimal.
Right.
Minimal pressure.
But that's why we have 20 or 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds still living at home.
Yes. Yeah. I see my niece. She has it's like if your mom's always there and maybe she's not folding your clothes, but she's still there. She's like the patriarch. Somehow in your brain, you still don't have to be responsible because she's just there in the background.
Sure.
And so they never learn to step up. And the anxiety of the transition, because they can do it. And then when they're in their late 20s, they start to mature. The thing is, we're just pushing the maturity thing backwards. Is what we're doing.
Right.
And I saw it happen with my stepdaughter who lives in Amsterdam. She went through a period of anxiety and having to find solutions to manage, and she did all on her own. And now she's in her late 20s, and she's got a job in management, and again, now she's flourishing.
Right.
And doing better than a lot of the people around her, so.
Yeah. Growing up, my mom said over and over to me, life's not easy and life's not fair.
Mm.
And you better learn that soon.
Mm. Yes, you're right. I think it's crazy because sometimes I think just the loss of these little cliches.
Sure.
Sometimes I think of them and I think I've not heard people say this in years.
Yeah.
And they were so relevant to our wisdom, and crazy.
I know.
So do you have? How long are you going? Do you have anything to ask me?
Well, number one, I don't know. I love the idea of the retreat. I think that you should get that going right away and just start one. The first one as a work in progress and just do it. Don't
The
wait.
thing is you have a list of things that has to happen before that, and so
not necessarily.
It means it's in the process, but it's in the process by taking care of these things,
right?
And then going to that when the time is appropriate.
I guess my question is like, how did you learn all this? How did you learn to stretch me in a way that in one session I had really significant progress?
So there's two parts to that question. So let's start with how did I learn anything? So I go through this phase where I went through two phases as an adult where I tried to get myself together physically. Then this time was worse than this time, the second time. And then I had an injury that gave a lot of motivation to get this fixed. And so the second time, the motivation, I just said, I remember lying on my back and saying, what will I ever be able to do again? Like, am I always going to walk with like this guarding and this stiffness and hurting? Is it going to worsen? And then I would think about things that I once did, and I would say, oh man, I can never do that again. Like, I felt hopeless. And I would sit and I would lay, and I would think there are people that don't even care about their well-being, walking around in Publix right now, just oblivious,
right,
that they can walk.
Right.
Because when you can't, it's like this thing. So at the time, Chris Acosta over at St. Pete Yoga was known for being this bad back yogi. So somebody sent me some of his content, and I look at it, and it's him sitting in lotus doing a forward fold like this. I couldn't sit.
Right, let alone
the
fold.
way I'm getting even cross-legged, and a forward fold is out of the question. It was ridiculous what I was looking at. This is his fucking bad back
right
advice?
Right.
Are you kidding me? So I was shocked. So I and I know Chris. I've known him. I knew him for a couple of years before I saw the video, and he's great. He's a good yoga teacher and everything. Not to take away from him. It's just that idea. I don't think he has a good idea of how to communicate it. So I kind of took that responsibility. I said, okay, I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know. So I go through, what's the next, and I want to document it and blah, 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 blah. So I, basically all I discovered was I could lay flat on my back. And what was the problem? Everybody always asks that question. I was 80 pounds heavier, and I had a lot of inflammation. And the MRI showed there's two in the lumbar between L5 and S1. There was literally no, if little at all, cartilage, and then L1, L2, L3, L4, and L4, L5 had a little bit. And
what was that caused by?
Just wear and tear. The same reason it happens to you and everybody else.
Yeah.
When people say, "Oh, I slept wrong," or the moving the boxes on the weekend, or reaching for the paper clip, when you hear these stories, that was just the last straw on the camel's back. It was inevitable.
Literally.
It was inevitable. Yes.
Yeah.
Because all you've got to do is. So anyway, I found out there was this position I could stay in. I started documenting the stuff and how it made me feel better and gave me more range of motion mobility, but it wasn't building strength. I had to build strength. So by the time I got to the physical therapist, that's what he started working with me on. And I started realizing, okay, I see this progression. I see if I do this and get a foundation, and then I do this and I create this activation, and now the spine can fucking stand up, and that's, I just was putting this all together. And it was a piece by piece thing. I observed it in myself. And so now I've crossed the landscape, and I can look back across the landscape and I can say where I've had the whole thing from A to Z in my brain.
I know. So that's why last session, in our first session, you told me I was weak physically and mentally.
Yes. No, not.
Yes.
I wouldn't say mentally.
Yes, you did. You said because I think I can't do things that.
Oh, yes. I do sell that to people when they are telling me they can't.
It's 100% right. So
because that requires a transition. Because you can, for sure. So, but yeah. So your knee. So tell the story of your knee.
I was a good athlete growing up and played field hockey, and my senior year in high school, I think I only let in one goal the whole season. I was a goalie, and so we won states, and then I played Division I, and then I went to the Olympic tryouts, and I kind of unofficially made the Olympic team. I made it through it all, but then right at the end, I tore my ACL, and that was it. Back then, that was it, and kind of the story about that is I went to a doctor. He scoped it. He said, she's fine. And my coach was calling me to come back for preseason, like yelling at me, like, you have to come back. And my dad was like, you got to go back. And I'm like, I said to my mom, I'll go back. But when I run, my leg comes apart. And, I feel like people knew about ACL back then, but just not with women. And then both my sisters.
Whoa.
That's
crazy.
Yeah. Both my sisters had tore their ACL. My mom, was fed up and went into New York City and found Dr. Scott. Dr. Scott, I hope you see this someday. And he's the team doctor. He was the team doctor for the Knicks and basically just did ACL. And he just grabbed my leg and pulled it apart. And he's like, she tore ACL. It's pretty easy diagnosis here.
And the same thing happened to your sisters?
Yep. Yeah. So we were kind of famous. 3 sisters tore our ACLs, but we got beat out by 4 brothers. But and the doctor did say there are some genetics behind it, between how tight your joints are and your hip to knee ratio, and we were all good athletes and kind of competed at a fairly high level. And since then, my son tore his ACL and my niece, so it kind of continues through another generation, all done in athletics. And then Dr. Scott repaired our knees, and all of us have done well over the last 40 years.
And what year was
that? 88.
In 1988, you had this surgery.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did it go from 1988 to 2025, whatever day that was?
I mean, overall, fairly well. I've been able to do most of the things I want to do.
But you had tissue that was preventing it from moving.
Yeah, I tissued up a lot when in the original surgery. So they manually manipulated it while I was awake, which now they put you under anesthesia for. But in physical therapy, they would lay me on my stomach, and the whole office would come in and hold me down, and somebody'd get there and just.
I've seen videos of this.
Crack it.
I've seen how they do it where tissue, like you say, scarred tissue and stuff is built up, and they'll do it in rotator cuffs, whatever. And
so painful.
And the thing is that they only do it that one time. It's like a procedure.
Yeah.
And so what is not happening to the knee is it doesn't have any muscle that knows how to work or function within the range of motion. The scar tissue is keeping it from moving, but the scar tissue is fascia that can be broken. Now sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. I've seen really bad cases of fascia that I never really could get out of there's one particular guy with a lot of contracture and could barely move. He'd at least like look around in traffic eventually, but he never fully graduated to even 50%,
Yeah.
of what the normal person should have.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure.
so with you, yeah, you just have to break through those tissues, and the manual manipulation will get it started, but then you got to get off and do what you've been doing.
Right.
And what have you been doing?
Stretching.
But you told me
Every day.
you walked in the door and when you couldn't wait to tell me some story about.
Wait, I had two stories. Oh yeah, so I used to spin a lot, and my house flooded, so I stopped for a while. And when I got back on the spin bike, I couldn't move my leg around. I'd have to point my toe down because I couldn't bend it enough to make that revolution around. And this morning, I got back on the bike and I could do it again after one session with you.
I could not think of a better thing to be doing than me.
Yeah.
Cannot think of a better thing.
But I'm not there yet. It hurt.
No.
So,
that's great.
Yeah, another session and hopefully we'll get it a little. I have no range of motion.
So, bone broth and anything with hyaluronic acid. Those are the two things you want to get right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'll send 2 blog posts about it.
I love when you send me stuff to read and educate myself.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. But yeah, so now I have a system that I work on people, and I work from the average retired teacher from Minnesota.
From Connecticut.
Connecticut, excuse me.
Same thing. To famous athletes, I showed my son you working with some of the athletes you work with, and he was really impressed.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I know him. He's badass.
What is your son into? What does he do?
My son has been doing a lot of managing social media influencers, but now has transitioned into trading the stock market.
Oh, I meant he was into MMA or
yes,
soccer
he has always wanted to be like an MMA. He played lacrosse and football growing up, but he always says that he wants to be a fighter, and I just say no.
But why?
Listen, I can't even watch it. You punched me in my face once, I would never do that again, whatever it was. Those guys that get punched and kicked and jumped on, it horrifies me.
First of all,
like the pain.
Those guys are tough, and that's why they do it.
I know, but it has to hurt.
No, when you're in the moment, you don't feel anything. I promise you.
I'm such a baby with pain. I can't imagine
that you feel nothing.
Being punched over and over in the face.
You feel absolutely nothing when you're in a fight. People break things and they keep fighting. That's the thing that people who don't fight don't understand. They think, oh, this must be. I've heard them like on The View and stuff. Well, they're horrible people. They watch that MMA shit and stuff, or
right,
or they are those people. Like, if to be that type of person, well, they must be violent. And they're some of the calmest, coolest people. How do I explain this to you?
Well, they have to be also.
If you're losing your shit because McDonald's doesn't have barbecue sauce,
right?
What's the opposite of that? The opposite of that is you're standing in front of another man getting ready to fight a duel, and you're both masters in a deadly weapon. And you got to stay calm.
Right.
That's what these people are.
Right.
They know how to be men, and they know how to stay calm, and they know when it's appropriate to to behave in certain ways. And, and meaning even down to relationship management. That's why it's Marcus Aurelius, Plato, any of these guys, they wrestled, they boxed, they were were warriors. They weren't some professor in Montreal with a turtleneck on and glasses talking about philosophy. They could choke you 14 different ways and knew every artery that they could slit with a little razor blade and kill you. These were men.
Yeah.
And this is what we lack. When you're a Viking and you visit another village and you're standing talking to them, you know what each other could do to each other. There's a sense of respect.
Right.
When you're a wimp, maybe you had 2 margaritas and chilies and you're in the parking lot and you're mouthing off and you're a kid who's never trained and doesn't know what you're talking about. Those are the people who do that. Because if you're talking to somebody who's trained, they're not behaving this way. They're calm. I've seen it. I've had incidents where people would get in a friend of mine's face and they didn't know anything about fighting or anything. And I could walk over and wait. Okay, this guy's having a bad day. Just let him get this off his chest. But I also see that he's right-handed, and if he was to come back like this, I know I could step in and get him in a rear naked choke. And like you already know what you're going to do to him, and he has no idea that you can control him because he doesn't know anything about fighting.
Yeah.
He couldn't stop it if he wanted to. He's literally hopeless. And that's how fighters think. I already know. I've knocked out so many people so many times. I already know what I'm going to do to this guy if something goes bad.
Right.
And he's just mouthing off, losing his shit. And they've already played the whole thing in their head. They're good people. They're really good people. I don't think I could be who I am today. I really believe that without having this access to this mentality and to the camaraderie and the maybe sense of brotherhood in some ways. And women do it too.
Yeah. I know. I can't watch that either. I'm like, oh my God.
And I think
even more.
I don't think fighting for everyone, but I think everybody should know how to fight. It's like fasting isn't for everyone, but everyone should know what it's like to have an empty stomach. Every single woman walking on the street should know have a strategy to get away from an attacker.
Yeah.
On how to manage himself. Every single one.
Right.
And there's such a deficit.
Yeah.
With this, and women were always strong and warriors too, and they had their role in defending the village because when the front line broke, and they're coming to the village, you're not just going to lay down and be violated and everything that happened. Exactly, you are going to fight, and they had strategies for this.
Yeah,
they had understanding about this. We don't have anything like this. Again, the world is so safe, and we seek so much comfort. And it's ruining us. People don't even like to sweat. The gym, I remember the AC's gone out a few times. I'm sweating in here.
I know.
Is there a hidden camera? Is this a funny video?
No,
that would be my question when people say that to us. You're sweating in the gym and you're telling us.
I'm kind of like that too, though. Like hot yoga. Oh my God.
But that's amazing you're doing it.
I don't want to do it.
That's why you should be doing it.
I know.
That's exactly why you should be doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't want to run, but I've been thinking a lot about it. Like a 5K or something like this. I can't think of running like that anymore. But I know it'll do something to me that I'm going to be surprised by. I'm going to have some crazy experience and value added and resilience and all these things.
Well, that is like that mindset that you're teaching me is that, like, I don't know, put in my head a lot of things I can't do, and I'm sure I can.
Yeah, you can probably find one, but I would work on low-level fruit first.
Right.
Before that.
But even as simple as doing a squat.
Taking a cold shower. You see? You're already shaking your head no.
Why? When a hot shower feels so good. Oh, that cold plunge.
Yeah. Just take a cold shower. Now, it's harder in the winter. It's easier in the summer.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just taking a cold shower.
I was hoping the cold plunge, I would have felt more benefits, long-lasting benefits after one time to get me going back.
No, you're never motivated to get in it. I mean, you might say I'm doing it Saturday at 9:00 in the morning. Like you might be disciplined about it, but there's no time ever you're standing on the edge of that thing going, "This is going to be great."
Okay.
No time.
We're not ever going to get there.
Ever.
Oh.
And then you do it, and you get out, and you're like, "This is really great." It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy what you learn in that thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
I wanted a more physical benefit, like get out and like my knee felt better, or my something was better.
No, it's not that. Not like that. The modality of ice bath. Nothing is really like magic. Like, okay, except for my work.
Except for you.
But
magic.
Which is, again, I still think it's crazy that is a thing. That I remember the first time I was working at Stretch Lab, and it was my second week, and people from the first week, 3 people came to me and they said, "That was amazing. Like, I can do this now." And they never did it to anybody else who worked there. They would never go back to them and say that cumulatively with time, but I could do it in short sessions, shorter. I've heard people tell me, I've worked with you a shorter amount of time than my physical therapist, and we have gone way beyond what we ever did at physical therapy.
I believe it. Yeah, why?
Because they're not doing what I'm doing. They're too gentle. You have to challenge something. You have to challenge something in order for something to change. That's the front line. That's the edge. That's where battle is taking place. If you're not going there, then nothing's happening.
Right.
You got to. If you type 20 words a minute, you want to get to 30. You have to push.
Right.
You have to feel uncomfortable. You can't be teaching your kids. Don't ever feel uncomfortable.
Because ultimately, that's where there's growth.
We find our best selves in the discomfort. That is exactly right. And that's why the value of like me starting to run or you doing whatever it is that you don't like into a learning, stepping up, leveling up. And you might do it for 6 months, a year, but you give it a chance. And you might learn things and say, well, this is not my new thing. You don't know.
Right.
You don't.
Right.
You don't. But all these things are worth exploring. It's looking at the ugly things that you don't want to look at. That's the biggest one. The routines, habits, and rituals. I think it's one of the things. Remember, I told you there's a list of things about dating. Well, one of them is some type of emotional quotient, the ability to self-regulate. And this is why I always thought, oh, you will meet somebody from either jiu-jitsu or yoga, because they have this self-regulation.
Emotional IQ?
EQ, I think they call it. I think somebody coined this at some point in time, and it's been in our vocabulary for a few years now. You haven't heard it?
Well, I think emotional IQ and EQ are the same thing.
Yes.
Right.
It's just that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like
I'm
IQ,
gonna use it now.
Intelligence quotient.
EQ. Right.
Emotional quotient. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think that seeking of comfort is just making us weak. Again, we need to be seeking of what's making us strong.
Yeah.
And that's discomfort. It requires discomfort. That's it.
My knee is a good analogy of that.
You're doing great. And if you keep on the spin bike, you might not even have to ever do a stretch again. I doubt it, but I've seen people, they usually take progressions, and when they take control, like you're one of the few taking control. Not everybody does that. They keep outsourcing and getting worse, and
I knew I had to do the work.
Yeah, you got to do the work, and again, it's a progression. And you had a huge leap like in that one session.
Right.
That's crazy.
I want to keep doing that.
And now you got time to work on it. So, all right.
But I like the analogy that you made between that and in life. Like, you gotta work hard and push yourself to that uncomfortable edge where there's growth.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. We can have seasons where we relax, but there's important things that we should be not neglecting in our lives. And again, emotionally and physically. And it just makes us better people. That's another thing that I say this all the time: to be better brother, sister, mother, father, partner, employee, employer, whatever it is. You gain calm and confidence, and that that's one of the things that people admire in others is confidence.
Right.
And you gain confidence. That's how you get confident, is through experiences. You don't get confident from an idea. You don't get confidence from binge watching Netflix. You get confidence from doing the work. And then you know, I'm prepared for the fight on Saturday. I did the work.
Right.
So you trust in the work.
Right.
And you remove as much chance as you can. And again, those are lessons that equate to, and not giving up. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Not giving up is another one. It's I see people quit before their time, and not giving it a chance.
Right.
You know, and so anyway, so I don't even know how long this thing's going.
I know. What time is it?
It's almost an hour.
It's an hour. Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.